Listen, I hope everyone is enjoying this amazing Thursday. So I just want to take the time out to come on for a few moments just to talk about my truth, okay? And what my truth means to me when I speak on my truth 180. 360 is not an option. Now, it's not going to be today, but I am going to definitely break down the reason why the book is named what the title is. But in this moment, I just want to talk about one of the chapters from the book. It Had to Happen, continued. Here we go. After a month and a half a long investigation, the detectives contacted Paul and brought him into custody. Initially, he denied everything. Of course, he knew he was caught and backed into a corner. After he was questioned and released, words started spreading like a virus, and I began my own investigation. I had just finished my crime scene investigation classes, and there was no way I wouldn't put my knowledge and schooling to good use. If someone had been murdered, the cops would have been made aware of putting it as the priority. But for this situation, I had to put in the work. I couldn't stand aside and wait. One day I received a call from a family member of Paul's saying that they had heard what happened. The cops came to their house and they explained what they knew. People are funny, aren't they? They started sharing the truth about Paul messing with kids years ago, yet kept quiet when they needed to speak up the most. They were afraid to speak, afraid to admit that they were allowing a monster around their children. Not this chick. I refused to be the one who swept the issue under the rug. I wouldn't ignore what happened. The end of that, chapter. But that's the biggest thing. So many people, and I don't even put this out there to be a trigger for people, but I just want people to know to be aware of the individuals you have around your children. Even as adults, I've encountered people that have said, I never was totally transparent with a person because of my past. They've shared with me, like, I want to, let myself go around that special someone, but it's like, if they knew what I went through, or sometime it comes at a point, you wonder why a person could be like, don't touch me that way, or, you could be playing around, like how they used to say horse playing or whatever, and all of a sudden it could trigger something in them. You don't know whether they could have been being abused growing up or anything like that. But what really breaks it down to me is the fact that how people sit up here, and not only in the African American community, in other communities also, you sit up here and know Uncle Tom been doing this for years. Aunt Jane, we thought it was cool for Aunt Jane to, play around with us. You know what I'm saying? Well, not with us, but, dudes have told me that they've had encounters where their aunts literally introduced them to adulthood before it was their time. And I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm not even going to go too much in detail with that. But the biggest thing is bringing awareness and light to what has happened and how to move forward. Because there is no way that you can say you're moving forward, but it's like you're stuck. You're just stuck in this position. You're not going nowhere further. What is that? I'm transparent. Then you need to go. So, in me just putting this out there, I'm not looking for sympathy. My children are not looking for sympathy. When I tell you, if it was not for the Most High and therapy, listen, just like I talk about in the book, I would have written this entire book from a jail cell. And honestly, with no remorse. Because I would have believed in my mind that the justice that I sought would have been fulfilled. Even though I put my trust in the judicial system and it failed. It failed miserably. And not only did it fail me and my children, but it also failed the other kids that this woman kept. Some came forth and talked about it. Some didn't. Some even shared with me that they will never talk about it because they're too embarrassed. But I'm here to let anyone who's ever listening know, never be afraid. I don't care how hard it is, even as an adult. If you don't want to talk to nobody you know, please seek out therapy. Like, don't sit up here with all that about I don't want to be on nobody's couch. I don't want to talk to nobody. Let me tell you something. That was the best decision that I ever made, is by getting on somebody's couch, okay? And pouring it all out. Even from dealing with what I dealt with my children, to dealing with divorce, to dealing with death. Like, people don't understand. This morning, while I was getting prepared for today, that's another thing. Speak life into yourself in that mirror. Look at yourself in that mirror and speak life. Man, listen, you will be able to conquer anything you desire.